Good morning, it's Claire and I'm here to help you with your ballet. This week we are working on control and coordination, which is quite a wide area of dance technique to be working on. It's both the control of your body so that you're not overdoing things, you're not throwing things away, you're able to balance, but it's also the coordination of the thing whole, working as one whole picture so that you create this beautiful movement throughout, and that it's all in time with each other so that you're not kind of doing arms and legs all at different points and different parts of times rather, so that they're not actually helping each other out. So I'm going to start with the control element of this first. And for me, it comes from the lower core, literally below your belly button. Yeah, this section here is your real control center, and everything else emanates out from that. Yeah, so once you've got control of this, you can keep your arms nice and relaxed. Because it's your lower belly, you can actually have this quite held and still have plenty of space to breathe into your diaphragm, so you can breathe properly. Once you're controlling your turnout in this area, in your hip area, you can then obviously control your turnout throughout your dancing. You're not using your knees and you're not twisting your feet to get that lovely turned out feeling if you're doing ballet. This actually also works for any style of dance. Ballet, modern, tap, street, commercial, whatever dance you're doing, if you've got the control here, then you can then throw yourself into all sorts of moves. You can throw yourself off balance, you can do anything that you need to do that will look spectacular without falling on the floor, wobbling or anything like that. Okay, so even in modern ballet, yeah, there's so many movements that are actually not precise square place movements. They're off balance, they're leaning into the movement. So you want to have that control so you don't fall over. Okay, so think of your lower belly and think of it literally, these sort of, you've got your, obviously your main core muscles, but it's that runs underneath that you want to be thinking of gently pulling in towards your lower spine. Yeah, someone actually did mention to me quite a good analogy. Imagine someone's going to poke you in your stomach, you would actually slightly tense your stomach. I don't like to say tensing, but that actually is what you're doing. You're engaging those muscles, and then with having those engaged, that means that then you can move your other parts of your body really, really easily and freely without causing any problems. Also, as I said, your control of your turnout, it needs to come from these muscles. You've got a collection of little rotator muscles. The most important one is actually the piriformis. A lot of people say tense your glutes, but it's not the glutes, it's underneath the glutes. You've got your piriformis, which is a little strip of muscle about that big, that literally holds onto the top of your leg and your hip socket, and that is the muscle that pulls your legs, helps rotate your legs. You can use your adductors as well to kind of draw your legs together to kind of enhance that whole rotating feeling. When we're thinking that with our shoulders the other day, we're thinking that with our legs in our hip sockets. And then leave it there. Don't try and force your feet any further out from there, because that will then be using your knees or your ankles to create the turnout. You can find yourself rolling forward on your instep, which again is not good for you. Knee problems are primarily caused from people trying to overturn out from when they haven't got the turnout in their hip socket. They then try to do it from their feet, work from the bottom up, which doesn't work. And then what happens is they end up twisting their knees, because our knees are actually surprisingly mobile. So you can actually, like your forearms, you can rotate them quite a lot. But if you permanently rotate them and then put weight on them and keep them in that position and dance with them in that position, then it starts to wear and tear on your knees, and it's really not good. Take it from someone who did that at college and had to learn the hard way. Okay, so think of the control of your turnout coming from here, the control of your lower belly here will give you the freedom for the movement up above to make your dancing look fabulous. Also, with regards to control, it's about making your movements feel free and appear free, but be controlled, move in a controlled manner. So for example, if you're doing a balance, for example, if you're going, yeah, I'm feeling this is fantastic, I love it. Can you see how far my arm's flapping over here? Yeah, you still, even though you're feeling all that wonderful feeling, you still want to keep your classical placement. Yeah, you don't want to be overthrowing it. Yes, you can use a bit of a pourmont, so you're using your spine to spiral to create a bit of a pourmont, or you're going to do it very placed, but you can still have all that lovely feeling in your upper body, in your face, in your breathing, but you don't have to fling your arms from side to side and lose that lovely classical placement that you need for ballet, or whatever the choreographer desires. If you're doing modern or something else, you obviously then need that placement for the modern movements as well. So you need to be able to create what the choreographer wants on the day. And again, having that control of your arms, being super aware of where your arms are in space and in relation to the rest of your body will really help that. We learn a lot about that. Obviously from little tiny child upwards, you learn about, it's called proprioception. It's the awareness of where your body is in relation to the space. Or say, for example, I know if I put my hand down here, I know that I'm in position of what I call in RAD is bras bas. It could be fifth en bas in another system. There are lots of different names. The names are just for different systems. But I know if I place my hands there, I know they're in the position I want them to be for that movement. Yeah, and this is something you learn as you grow up, and as dancers you become hyper aware of it. Which is quite handy in real life as well. You know, it's quite handy to know exactly what your body's doing when you're doing other things. So you don't want to overcross. You also don't want to flap your hands. You want to feel the air, but keep that lovely placement so you don't have to go, yay, when you're doing a lovely port de bras. So you're feeling that nice control in your arms. You feel resistance as you're moving. So imagine you're moving against treacle or underwater, so that you feel that resistance as you're moving. And again, that's creating control as well as working both muscle groups, which I've mentioned before, which is really good for a workout as well, for keeping your muscles nice and strong. So we talked about not flopping, over crossing, and the last bit I want to work on is not the plonking. Okay, so if you do a grand battement, for example, I'll just see if I can get you to see. I'm not doing a massively high one. So when it goes up, you think of throwing that leg up, whoosh, up, and then it floats down to tip of the big toe and then closes, yeah? So you think of it throwing up and then floats down like a feather. Again, that's all about the control. Yes, you use the pressure through the floor to get the initial impetus to go up in the air, but then you have to use your core and your leg muscles here to slow that descent, so that it just goes down to the tip of your toe, and then it's nice and controlled. The same with any walks. If you're doing like a little brush, you don't want to plonk. No plonking, okay? So we've deleted the plonking. So no plonking, no flapping, and no overcrossing of your arms. So those are elements of control, and no turning back from your thing. They're all negative actually. So we'll think of controlling the arms, controlling the descent of the leg, and controlling our placement. Okay, oh, there's a bit of a bang there. So the next thing I want to talk about is our coordination, rather. We just talked about control. We're going to talk about coordination, okay? And that is making sure that everything works as a whole. Prime example is if you're doing a jump and your arms start doing this, they're not really, that's the control side actually. You want them to be controlled in your back so they're not detracting from the jump. Or if you're doing a jump and you're looking down at the floor, you're not going to be flying up in the air because your coordination of your face is not matching the coordination of your movement. So first thing I always say to all my dancers when they start dancing with me is think about looking past your fingertips or looking in the direction, the vague direction of your fingertips. So that's a really good way of coordinating your head and face with your hands. So if you do like a basic pull bar, you can go da and look to the hand. I'm actually not looking strictly at my hand. I look at my hands there, and then I look out beyond my fingers there as my arms open out. Yeah, so you're naturally casting your face in the direction of your hands, and that's a really easy way. If I do my arms up to fifth, I look up to fifth, and then I look at my hand as it goes down, and then I'll do the next side and I'll look the other way. So basically you're making sure that your eyes and your face are kind of following where your hands are going. It's a really easy tip. If in doubt, look in the direction of your fingers. So if I'm doing an arabesque, I'm looking beyond my fingers, and again that creates the nice line that we talked about the other day. So that's coordinating face and hands. Hands and legs, arms and legs is a little bit more tricky. And one of the exercises we do at the bar is a really good exercise for coordinating arms and legs together, okay? Which is the fondue exercise. So basically, I've changed my angle a little bit so you can see me better. So if I peel my leg and then stretch it, and can you see all my limbs are getting there at the same time. So you have to slow down the stretching of your supporting leg because that's got the least distance to go, it just straightens. The arm has the furthest distance to go, it has to go through bras bar, through first and open second. So that, if you slow that down and speed this up, they should get there at the same time. And then this leg is kind of, the gesturing leg is kind of somewhere in the middle, yes? But that is a really good practice for when you're dancing and jumping. You want your arms to be helping you. You want your arms to be lifting you off the floor and enhancing that jump, not kind of going at a different time, okay? So yeah, think of your eyes following your hands. Think of, especially in fondus particularly, but also every exercise, think of your arms anticipating. Your arms are actually leading the way to most movement because they're kind of preempting it and helping you get off the floor. So that's a really good way of thinking of your arms preceding the movement. And what I would say, I know it's really tempting when you learn an exercise to go, right, I'm just going to focus on the feet, and you're looking at your feet and you're working out on your feet, you're going, yes, I've got the feet now I'll add the arms. And I know this is really hard and I know lots of you will hate it, but it's really important to get the arms with the legs. Now, I totally get it that you might not be able to do both together at the same time, but what I would say is do the arms first. Learn the whole number, or learn the whole enchaînement, and then work out the arms. Think, and it goes there, to there, to there, to there, to there, to there, yeah? So you really know what your arms are doing, because then they can be getting on with it. And then you can do the legs separately as well. So you've done both separately, but do the arms first, because they're the thing that's going to lead into the next movement. So lead you into your jumps, okay? And finally, the one thing that's really going to help you make sure that you're properly coordinated is by dancing in time with the music. If everything is going in time with the music, you're going to be there all at the same time. So if you're thinking music, and really feeling that music, your arms are going to lead into that movement straight away because they're thinking of the music and your legs are thinking of the same piece of music, and it's all going to come together. Okay, so that's my one to think about this week. It's a long one, quite a lot to think about. But yeah, really helpful. I hope that helps. So I'm just looking at my notes just to make sure I've got everything. We're talking control. So that's control about your placing, no plunk, holding your core. So you've got that control of that. Holding your turnout. So you've got your control of your turnout. Controlling the movement of your arms. So resisting so they don't just flinging over cross. Resisting on the things going down so you're not flapping. You're feeling that lift in your arms as you're stroking there, but you're not flapping with your whole arm. And thinking about holding your turn. I've said about holding your turn out. I can't think what the other one is. I put no plonking, no flopping, no overcrossing. So yeah, no overcrossing. So you don't have that. With the coordination, as I said, the most important thing is musicality. Think about the music. If everything's working with the music, you'll be sorted. Think about your eyes following your hands. Think about your legs and arms moving together. In fact, the arms preceding or leading the way for the legs. And that will help you so much. So try that this week. Do like and follow and subscribe. That would be amazing if you do that. If you want more tips, I've got plenty on the way. And do share with any friends that you think might be wanting this. If you want to dance with us, you can check out bridgeballet.co.uk or bridgeballet.club if you just want to, if you don't have a particularly friendly schedule and want to be able to do a ballet class anytime, night or day. Okie dokie. Thank you for listening and watching.